This is Expert to Expert, connecting industry practitioners and educators from ESC Region 11 and the CTE CCMR team.
Hey, I'm Brandon Joyner, former football player, played in the NFL for a couple years. After that, I got into coaching and education, taught kids with autism for a little while. I remember when I got done playing in the NFL, I got a house from foreclosure and I started working on it. And I would pay people to not do the work, but show me how to do it. So one of the first things I started doing was putting receptacles in, and the guy showed me how to do it. I remember putting my music on and going in the house and doing my work. And so I quit the coaching, came down to Dallas, and I got involved in the trade. And so how I do that, I just went to TDLR, Texas Department of License and Registration, and I believe it was maybe $50 for my apprentice license, and they sent me the card. After that, I signed up for IEC, and through IEC, they find you an electrical job. So you go, you apply for school, they get you enrolled in school, and they find you a company. I went to two different companies. I came on with the third company. I'm not gonna mention the first two names, but I came to my third company, Amber Electrical. When I interviewed there, I came in the room, the owner was there, his son was there. I didn't feel just like a number. I felt like it was a family. They had great core values. They have great core values. In the trade, it's not all about what you do, but it's also about who you work with and who you work for, in a sense. And so, and what they're willing to do. And I told them my aspirations. I told them I wanted to own my own business one day, and I wanted to learn everything you could do electrical. And he said, well, then look, let's get you into some school, you know. And he already was on the board at IEC, and he said, man, let me just show you somewhere else. So then now I go to school at TSTC. I'm learning a wide amount of different trades. Electrical is amazing. I love electrical, but I also get to see how electrical runs in dealing with solar energy, how it gets to partake into pneumatic systems and hydraulic systems and CNC machines, and it opened my eyes to so much more. My current role now is an apprentice, and so that's really the start when you first start off at apprentice, coming in not knowing anything. And I started that about 2 years ago. In about a year and a half from now, what I'm going to do is take my journeymans. From there, that opens up a major field of opportunity for me. But that's where I hope that it currently leads me to being. And my company, they push me for that. They want journeymen, because the more journeymen they have, the more jobs they can run. The thing I like about that, about the future of electricity, is that it's constantly growing. When you look at cars, even cars are moving towards electricity. Well, if that's the case, who's putting in these chargers? Even if you look at where, I want to go live out in the country, that's fine. Well, someone has to bring power to your house. The field is constantly growing. It's one of those fields that if no one was hiring for electricity, if you put up a sign and said, hey, I can hang ceiling fans and I know how to change out receptacles, you would find a job. Somebody would pay you, hey, can you do this for their company, a barbershop or anybody? You need power. This interview we have right now, the cameras, your phone is charged off electricity. The lights that are showing this, everything is involved in electricity. When there's a power outage in Dallas, people go crazy. Power is important. And I get the opportunity to bring light into the world. You can graduate high school and immediately jump into an apprenticeship. Or you can go to college and spend 10 years doing whatever you want to do, like I did myself, and come back and say, you know what, I want to go back and be an electrician. And I think that's the best part about it is on-the-job training. A lot of kids graduate from high school like myself, and I wish I could have just went to a trade school, played football. If I went to NFL, great, but if not, then I came out with a plumbing, electric, HVAC, or something like that degree. And you don't need any skill sets except for you have to want to work. It's not difficult at all to become an apprentice. From there, though, I think that it's important that you don't want to stay an apprentice. Have some goals for yourself, and from there, man, the sky's the limit. For real. Things I think that people really need to have to be an electrician, you have to have patience. That's one thing I love about this job, is that it's not a job you rush to do. Next thing is always have attention to detail. Don't leave things up to chance. You also have to have a respect for electricity. You got to just have some want to. And that's the major part is when you're at work, be at work, Put your phone up. We got to do this. Let's knock this out, you know what I mean, and get this done. Don't be prideful. I think that's a big thing. Just say you don't know, because if you go into it and you make someone believe you know something, then they assume you know it, so they're not going to teach it to you. They don't want to waste your time. Being able to work with a team. Nobody wants to work with somebody that they're doing all the work and they look down and you're on the phone and you're not helping them out. Also, I would say the knowing that I got to get this work in and not really worried about the temperature. It's hot sometimes, it's going to be cold sometimes, but knowing that I have a task that has to get done. In sports, you train year round for a couple weeks opportunity to show what you can do. Well, when it comes to the trade, that day, a lot of times, I wire up lights, I go in there, and I step back, flip the switch, and they come on. And it's like, yeah, I did that. I wish I knew this when I was your age, is that the importance of a trade, the importance of a skill, the importance of a craft. I went to play in the NFL and I lived my dream, and man, that's a bravo, tip my hat, and I'm thankful for that. But eventually that's going to come to an end. If you want to be self-sustaining, if you want to put yourself in a position to where you don't have to necessarily be employed, but you can be the employer, a barber does not need a shop to cut hair. A barber, if no one is hiring him, if he got his credentials, he can be in his garage, he can put a chair set up in there, and he can cut hair and make money. And so the thing I would say is put yourself in a position to where you don't have to worry about someone hiring you. Really spend time looking at a trade, and maybe electrical's not for you. And so I would just encourage you to just dive into, look into some of the things that spark your interest, that you are consumed with, that you want to grow in, so that if you don't want to work at McDonald's and work in a drive-thru, which is nothing wrong with that, but if you don't want to do that, then get a trade. Because I tell you this, you could work at McDonald's, or you could work in the doctor's office, you could work as a coach, you could work wherever. But when someone says they want to let you go, or they're laying off jobs, like when COVID hit and people lost jobs and things went crazy, I'll tell you one person who didn't lose jobs, a lot of those trades, because power still needs to get ran. Roads still need to get built. Put yourself in a position to where your career and your family's not dictated on the times.
This has been Expert to Expert, connecting industry practitioners and educators